2 years ago, I, Marcus Williams, bought the prestigious Langston estate on 425 Oakwood Avenue, a testament to my 25-year career in law enforcement. As the newly appointed chief of police for East Haven County, I could finally afford my dream property, a sprawling 3-acre lot with a stunning main house and a luxurious guest house nestled behind a grove of trees. The guest house was ideal for visits from my sister or mother in Charlotte, offering privacy yet proximity for family gatherings. The neighborhood was affluent, predominantly white, but I'd earned my place here through merit, rising from patrol officer to chief. Most neighbors were cordial, inviting me to barbecues and watch meetings, though some couldn't hide their shock upon learning my profession. "You're the police chief?" they'd say, their surprise thinly veiled when they saw a black man in such a role. I was used to it. Trouble began when the Harrisons moved in next door. Cynthia Harrison was the epitome of entitlement, bleached blonde hair in a sharp bob, designer sunglasses always perched atop her head, radiating arrogance. Her husband, Edward, an investment banker, was rarely home, leaving Cynthia and their 18-year-old son, Ethan, to dominate the scene. Ethan, tall with his mother's blonde hair and a smirk that screamed privilege, was trouble from day one. He revved his sleek blue Porsche at all hours, tossed trash on the sidewalk, and ignored my friendly waves with disdain. Our first real encounter came 2 weeks after they moved in. I was pruning the hedges dividing our properties, sweating in the Georgia heat despite staying fit at 47. Ethan strolled over, earbuds dangling. "Yo, you the gardener here?" he asked. "No pleasantries?" I stood tall, wiping my brow. "No, I'm Marcus Williams. I own this place." His disbelief was almost laughable, his eyes scanning my worn t-shirt and jeans. "Right," he scoffed. "Anyway, my mom wants to know if we can use your pool. Ours is under construction." I kept my tone even. "Sorry, insurance issues." His face reddened, jaw tight, as if my refusal was unthinkable. "Whatever, dude. Wouldn't want to swim in your pool anyway," he muttered, storming off. I knew then the Harrisons would be a problem. The first crisis hit a week later. After a late budget meeting, I returned home to find music blasting from my guest house. Lights flashed, cars clogged my driveway, spilling onto the street. As I stepped out of my unmarked cruiser, Cynthia emerged from her house, martini in hand, dressed like a 20-something. "Oh, Marcus!" she called, feigning familiarity. "Hope you don't mind. Ethan's having a few friends over." I stared, incredulous. "In my guest house?" She waved dismissively. "Edward and I told him it's fine. It's so separate, keeps the noise down." Controlling my anger, I said, "You don't have permission to use my property." She blinked, confused. But Edward spoke to the owner. "I am the owner," I repeated. Her smile faltered, then returned, strained. "A misunderstanding. Talk to Edward when he's back on Monday. They're just kids, no harm done." She sauntered off, dismissing me. Fuming, I called my brother-in-law, David, a security consultant, for backup, opting to handle this personally. He arrived, his 6 feet 4 inches frame imposing. We approached the guest house, music vibrating the ground. Inside, 50 teens partied, red cups everywhere, a makeshift bar on my antique sideboard, marijuana stench thick. I unlocked the door, and David was behind me. The room froze as 2 large black men appeared. "Party's over," I boomed. "Everyone out now." Ethan pushed through, beer in hand, smirking. "Chill, dude. My parents said it's cool. They don't own this." I shot back. 5 minutes or I call parents and cops." A girl gasped. "Can he do that?" Ethan scoffed, stepping closer, alcohol on his breath. "He can't do shit. My party, my rules." David intervened. "Kid, you're trespassing." Ethan sipped his beer defiantly, eyeing me. "Fine, we'll go. My dad's tight with the mayor. Hope you like job hunting, rent-a-cop." Teen snickered, buying his narrative that I was just staff. I ignored the bait. 5 minutes. Leave it spotless. Most teens left, grumbling. Ethan lingered, directing friends to grab alcohol. The damage was infuriating: spilled drinks, burn marks, vomit, and a defaced photo of my late father in his police uniform. Ethan's parting shot. My mom says people like you should thank us for raising your property value. I replied coolly. I'm entitled to press charges for vandalism and trespassing. He laughed. Good luck. My dad's lawyer will crush you. David and I documented the mess, finishing at 2 a.m. I decided to confront the parents first, hoping for civility. The next morning, I visited Cynthia at 10 a.m. Her smile wavered as I mentioned the damage. Kids will be kids, she said, inviting me for coffee. Her lavish home screamed wealth. She downplayed the incident, suggested I was overreacting, and proposed an arrangement for Ethan to use the guest house. Stunned, I refused. It's my property. Ethan's not welcome. Her smile tightened. Tyler's already planned a party next weekend. Find another venue, I said, demanding payment for damages. As I left, she warned, be flexible, Marcus. This community has expectations. You'd hate to feel unwelcome. The threat was clear. The next week brought petty harassment: tipped garbage cans, baseless HOA complaints, lawn service pamphlets implying my property was subpar. Neighbors grew cold, whispers following me. Edward ignored my calls. By Saturday, no payment arrived, and I worked late in uniform after a school presentation. At 11 p.m., I spotted cars lining my street, music pulsing from the guest house. Déjà vu hit hard. This party was bigger, cups littering the path. Done with niceties, I strode forward in uniform. A girl stumbled out, froze at my badge, and retreated yelling. Ethan appeared, cup in hand, smirking. Look, the neighbor's playing cop again. Friends laughed, one saluting mockingly. Everyone out, I ordered. Ethan sipped his drink. Nice costume. Party City? I stayed calm. This is my property. You're trespassing. Last warning? He scoffed. My parents talked to the owner. Invitation only, so leave. Then, he, accidentally, splashed beer on my uniform, liquid hitting my face. His friend snickered, but his eyes widened, realizing he'd crossed the line. Oops, he said, unapologetic. My patience snapped. I dialed dispatch. Chief Williams. I need units at 425 Oakwood. Trespassing, vandalism, underage drinking, drugs in progress. Ethan's smirk vanished. Dude, what? I continued. My residence. Juveniles involved. Panic spread, teens fled. Ethan stood firm, pride or disbelief holding him. You're bluffing. I never bluff about the law, I replied. Sirens wailed, 3 patrol cars arriving, lights flashing. Officers Carter, Lopez, and Hayes approached, surprised to see me beer-stained. Chief, we're responding to your call, Lopez said. I explained the situation. Ethan, pale, stammered. I didn't bring my ID. Hayes pressed. Name, age. Reluctantly. Ethan Harrison, 18, next door. Legally an adult. Hayes noted. Responsible for trespassing, vandalism, and alcohol possession. Cynthia stormed in, indignant. Why are you harassing my son? I clarified. He's trespassing, hosting illegal activities. She gaped at my uniform. Why are you dressed like that? I'm the chief of police, I said. She faltered, then deflected. Surely a misunderstanding. Ethan said you allowed the guest house. No permission, I countered. Edward arrived, alarmed. Recognizing me, he shifted to damage control. Chief Williams, I'm sure we can resolve this. I listed Ethan's crimes, including the beer incident. Edward paled, Cynthia pleaded. Boys will be boys. Think of his future. I stared her down. Every kid has a future. That's why they need to learn now. At 1 a.m., We drafted a restorative justice agreement in my living room. Ethan would pay damages, complete 100 hours of community service, and apologize. Cynthia resisted, but Edward agreed. He later apologized privately, admitting his own biases. Ethan's transformation was gradual. He sulked through early service, cleaning patrol cars, muttering about his dad's donations. A month in, Mrs. Jenkins, an 82-year-old civil rights veteran, confronted him about an overflowing trash can. Her blunt wisdom, "Everything here is everyone's concern," sparked a shift. Ethan opened up to her, and the next day, his defiance softened. He knocked on my door, apologizing sincerely for his racist assumptions, influenced by Mrs. Jenkins' stories of systemic barriers. Ethan threw himself into the youth basketball program, mentoring kids from underserved areas. He asked probing questions about policing and race, engaging officers like Ramirez, who shared his own experiences. Neighbors noted Ethan's quieter demeanor, his volunteering at the East Side Community Center. Cynthia, however, was livid, cornering me at an HOA meeting. "You're ruining my son! He's deferring college for community service." I countered, "He's growing." Edward privately thanked me. "You gave him a chance to change, not a record. That's leadership." By his final service day, Ethan was a precinct favorite. I offered him a college internship, which he humbly accepted. At a community barbecue he organized, bridging Kittredge and East Side residents, Ethan proposed raffling a guest house weekend for a needy family. I agreed, stipulating conditions. The event was a triumph, the winning single mother's joy unforgettable. Edward, watching Ethan clean up, admitted, "This wasn't our plan, but it's better." I nodded. Life's plans often are. Ethan's growth, from entitled teen to community advocate, proved that justice can transform, not just punish. His journey challenged privilege, bridged divides, and redefined my role as chief. What do you think? Should Marcus have pressed charges or offered a second chance? Share your thoughts below, and let's discuss how pranks and entitlement play out in relationships. Your comments could spark a viral debate, so hit that subscribe button for more stories like this.